Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning. On this Thursday, March 6th of 2025, we will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Reports of Shell considering the sale of the cracker plant have caught the attention of the Beaver County commissioners. Here's Beaver County Radio's Curtis Walsh with more.
County commissioners briefly spoke about the Shell cracker plant at their work session Wednesday morning. Recent information has been released that suggests Shell is considering selling the plant that recently cost them over $14 billion to build and has only been operating since 2022. According to the Wall Street Journal, Shell is exploring the sale of their chemical assets in the U.S. and Europe. Commissioner Jack Manning commented that everything has a price and suggested that normally these kinds of deals are not unusual, but he does see this one as unusual considering the large investment and how quickly Shell is willing to sell. Further details about the potential sale are still unknown. From Beaver, this is Curtis Walsh reporting for Beaver County Radio News.
Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano reports that a wanted suspect was apprehended on Wednesday for possessing drugs in West Aliquippa. Police caught 39-year-old Eric Bruce on the 400 block of Allegheny Avenue. Bruce snuck through an alley in a mask after he saw police. According to the police report, Bruce was taken into custody without incident and faces charges for both possession of drug paraphernalia and possessing a controlled substance. According to a release from Congressman Chris DeLuzio's office, DeLuzio announced $249,970 will be awarded to New Sun Rising and River Wise. DeLuzio stated that the money helps the two organizations to assist in technology and prepare some small to medium-sized local organizations for projects in the Ohio River Valley. Daylight saving time begins on Sunday, March 9th of 2025. The holiday leads up to the season of spring because of the traditional reminder to spring your clocks forward in the United States by 1 hour. The alternative is the autumn conclusion of daylight saving time, in which clocks go back 1 hour in the United States to fall back during the season of fall. According to a release from Allegheny Health Network, AHN is the first healthcare system in western Pennsylvania to treat enlarged prostate with aquablation therapy. This includes the new Hydros robotic system powered by artificial intelligence. The system uses water jet technology with help from robotics to remove the tissue of the prostate. Acting U.S. Attorney Troy Ravetti announced Wednesday that a man from Guatemala was indicted on a charge of illegal re-entry of a removed alien. 29-year-old Edgar Lopez Gomez was discovered in western Pennsylvania on February 20th, 2025. Lopez Gomez was in the United States illegally around or on July 18th, 2017. According to Ravetti, Lopez Gomez could receive a maximum of 2 years in jail and up to a $250,000 fine or both provided by the law. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says he wants to recruit federal workers for job openings in the state's workforce. These workers might be without employment as part of the Trump administration's efforts to shrink the size of the federal workforce. Shapiro spoke at a news conference Wednesday at a state job fair in Harrisburg. He says his administration will raise its consideration of federal job experience when it looks to hire. It has also assembled materials online to show federal workers how their experience translates to the state workforce. Shapiro gave as examples nurses, civil engineers, accountants, and emergency response professionals. This newscast is being brought to you by St. Barnabas. We will check your Beaver County radio weather forecast after this.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall in love, that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy and breezy with rain expected throughout the day, along with an afternoon thunderstorm. We'll see a high near 62. Rain likely tonight, possibly mixed with snow through the overnight. We'll drop down to a low around 31. Cloudy and breezy again tomorrow with a chance of snow. We'll reach a high near 35 and a low around 27. And partly sunny on Friday with a chance of a rain and snow mix, followed by just rain. We'll see a high near 43 and a low around 28. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Thursday, March the 6th of 2025 at 10 minutes after 9, we've got a temperature of 32 degrees currently in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Are you ready? It's time to find out what is on the mind of Eddie Crow. It's something to crow about on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. Now, here's the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
All right. It's going to be a good one today. And that's how you should wake up and think of every day. Welcome to the program. The first hour, it's going to be a great one. Jack Manning is here to ask the commissioners. Tony Amadeo is still recuperating. He'll be back sooner than later, and that's good news. If you want to ask a question of the commissioner, 724-843-1888. If you want to ask a question of the commissioner and don't want to call, you can post it on the comment section on the Facebook feed where this is showing up right now. Good morning, sir.
How are we, Eddie?
We're all right.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Part of, if you do it right or if you accidentally get it right in the media, there's a thing called timeliness. Okay. And you showing up today for Ask the Commissioners after yesterday and the cracker plant and all the news and you having to speak about it, makes us look good. Thanks for coming by. Why are they selling it? Just throw it out right now.
Everything has a price, as I said. It's not unusual in that industry. And as you know, I worked in it 37 years. Mm-hmm. I had 37 years of continuous employment, but I had 3 different names on my paychecks over those 37 years.
You didn't leave for a different job, a different company?
I was sold twice.
Were you?
Yeah, I was sold twice. Nice. I came with selling off of different assets. You have a new CEO at Shell, and I hate to speculate too much. That's why I've been hesitant to say anything other than the fact that this is the nature of that industry. I mean, this
is not new for people that have spent their life in it.
There's always a retooling or rethinking what's your core business, where are the assets you want to invest in. My career started with 50 years ago or more now that Shell decided to sell off all of its polymers assets. Its polypropylene, polystyrene, polyethylene business. They got out of that business altogether. I thought it was kind of ironic that I move up here and 50 years later they get back into that business. Yeah. People upstream, backstream, chemical derivatives, those kinds of things.
Dumb it down for me for a second. The poly stuff's basically plastics.
Yeah, plastic polymers. Okay. Yeah, and there's a wide variety of different commercial grades of polymers and copolymers, exotic, plastics that go into things like space shuttle and all this kind of stuff.
There is a market for the product.
Made by different things, a whole variety of stuff. And some people concentrate on the chemicals that are used to make those. Some concentrate on making those and selling those into different markets, from Procter & Gamble Tide jugs to, candy wrappers to pipe to medical supplies, things that have very specific, intricate components to them. So anyway, it's not unusual for people to go through that, re-examine what they want to do. Brand new CEO of, Royal Dutch Shell, and he's looking around saying, do we want to be in these businesses or not? What was more shocking to me, quite frankly, than the Monaca plant being listed as one of those assets was their Deer Park, Texas, sprawling chemical complex that is 5 times the size or more.
Several thousand jobs.
Of the cracker plant right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the largest, I think, one of the largest refining facilities in the country. It's in the Houston Ship Channel. I've been there before, visited before, did a lot of work in the Houston Ship Channel. The fact that that's on that list as well as other refining assets. So it's a big reexamination of what is out there. And I think, like any other prospective seller, you throw some stuff out there and see what happens, see who's interested. Do I anticipate that being sold? No. Would I be surprised if that's the only name that's ever on that complex for the next 5 decades? No, that would be a shock as well. I mean, just look at the Nova Chemical site that I worked at.
Okay.
It was Koppers, it was Arco, it was Nova, it was Styropec over 40, 50, 60 years. I mean, it's not surprising that people do that in that business. You can go into complexes that started with a Shell name or a Chevron name or an Arco name and find multiple other chemical entities that are running one little piece of those units because they have a particular product niche or manufacturing niche that they want to get into. So I mean, it's kind of the nature. I think again, the only surprise is it's in its second year of full operation that they would list that. But it's not surprising if you're re-examining your whole portfolio of chemicals, derivatives, and polymer production. So,
what entities would be potential buyers for facilities like this?
People with a lot of cash, right?
But
so I don't know.
What's you just said the weird thing about the Shell plant here is it's basically industrial-wise, it's brand spanking new.
Sure.
It's shiny. Yep. What would be the benefit of buying into something that and why?
Well, if you can
there's
get
so
it,
many questions.
If you can get it cheap enough,
right?
That can be a very, very profitable location.
What would the benefit of Shell selling it off cheap? And you told me this off air. How much did it cost to build? $18 million?
14.
Okay.
According to their own public statements, it was about $14 billion
in this world,
investment.
I hate to say it, but in this world, isn't that almost pocket change?
Yeah, I mean, look, they could sell it for half that and just write off the rest globally, and it's not gonna be a big deal. But somebody who buys it for a significant reduction has the benefit of a very profitable facility in the long run, because the biggest part about making plastics, polypropylene, polystyrene, polyethylene, is your raw material. That's the biggest. Your labor and your raw materials that make the product are your biggest cost.
Getting the raw material to the plant.
Right, and the fact that they've moved the plant right over the raw material gives them an advantage in cost that makes that potentially a very profitable business. Because generally, commodity plastics are not a very profitable business to get into.
Is it a business that is going to continue to struggle because of the continuing awareness of, at this point, the planet and us? We've got microplastics. Is that an environmental push that is going to continue to stay?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that.
Okay.
The global demand, there's always a supply and demand component to this. Always a supply and demand component. And obviously, when demand is down and supply is heavy, when you have that, it probably means there won't be any new capacity built anywhere or increased capacity for a while until the demand is there. The demand isn't really dropping off. I mean, doing away with plastic bags and candy wrappers is like an infinitesimal amount of plastic, or drinking straws and that kind of stuff. That's nothing compared to the big uses and the things that won't go away. I mean, just think about your everyday life, looking around at the computer components, looking around at headphones, looking around at medical supplies, looking around at pill vials when you go to CVS and look at what's on the shelf and all the stuff. The plastics can't be eliminated. It just can't happen. Yeah, again, you can get rid of some trash bags or drinking straws and those kinds of things, but there's too much necessity for our lifestyle and efficiency and product quality that comes from using plastics that there's no way that the demand won't be there to a certain degree.
It's ask the commissioner 724-843-1888. Jack Manning is sitting in here with me. I'm going to take a break, but after the break, you sort of told a story off the air. You spent time pitching the virtues of Beaver County.
Yeah.
Is that a way to say it?
Yeah, it's been a busy week. Well, it's my job all the time, but this week particularly had a few opportunities to do that. All right. Yeah.
As I understand it, getting to and from the gig built another opportunity for you to pitch Beaver County. How long did it take for you to get downtown?
Too long.
Don't tell me about the parking. We'll get to the parking thing.
Yeah, it's always a hassle. When you get a call, hey, can you be at the Fairmont Hotel in Pittsburgh by 8 a.m. Wednesday morning?
Yeah.
My first thought is, I guess I'll get up at 5 o'clock.
That's exactly right.
And start driving to make sure I get there. And sure enough, there was an accident going the other way. The rubberneckers going my way, and the tunnel was just backed up like crazy. I could not do that every day, Eddie, I can tell you that. And there was a possibility when Nova Chemical came that instead of locating the headquarters in Moon Township, they were being pitched stuff downtown in the little industrial areas. You start to head up towards University of Pittsburgh and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh no, I can't live in Beaver County and drive that every day. That would that would age me like.
Is that one of the pitch points? Bring your company to Beaver County.
It is.
In addition to it being cheaper by far and property taxes.
I mean, just things like it's a straight shot in Beaver County, right across the border to the new international airport that's being done, as well as just all the business opportunities here on this side. I mean, the pitch that I was making it was an investor summit that they had yesterday, 25, 30 different companies looking at investing and building new facilities here, and a lot of them are looking at Beaver County. We have a lot of good announcements that I hope will be made by the end of this month and stuff.
What kind of companies show up at an investment summit saying, we're building stuff, let's look at it?
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh's an attraction for a lot of reasons. Obviously, CMU, Pitt, Duquesne, that stuff, a lot of the tech companies, a lot of the energy companies related to making energy, storing energy, using energy to make something else. And they look at Beaver County and see a lot of opportunity to do that. And so it'd be those kind of companies, kind of high-tech, advanced manufacturing type organizations that want to take advantage of the area. And, let's face it, our legacy. One of the things I told this group is that what I love about this area, and particularly Beaver County, is the pride of the people, the resilience of the people, the can-do attitude of the people here, the entrepreneurial spirit. I said, but that pride emanates from everything from being proud, and I actually told the group this, being proud of having more NFL football players in the Hall of Fame than any other county in the country. That's right. I tell them, and it's 6, by the way, and they're all, because they're from all over the country and some from outside the United States. At the summit, where it's the pride of providing the steel to build the Empire State Building and the Golden Gate Bridge and the landing craft.
How do you monetize that, or how do you demonstrate there is an ability to monetize that pride?
Well, what I wanted to let them know is we're more than just the legacy of doing these things. I mean, we're proud of having the first commercial nuclear facility now run by Vistra. We have a lot of pride in our work. As I always say, I mean, it's not the only thing we do, but we like to use our heads, our hearts, and our hands to build and make things for a living. That's kind of the history. That's certainly my history, and that's the history of Beaver County. But we're not just all about construction and energy and advanced manufacturing and transportation and trucking, but those are core things that we have, and they want to hear that because that's what they want to build, an advanced manufacturing facility or one that uses energy or one that provides energy or battery storage or those kinds of things. So I told them that, but we're more than that. We have strong education and healthcare background. We've got farming and agriculture. Tell them that almost 25% of our land mass is still farms. Mm-hmm. We have the quintessential small town, some thriving Main Street programs. I want to paint a picture to them that Beaver County is a place you want to put into, not just because we have rail, river, highways coming through. We have people that are dedicated, resilient, great workers, great work ethic, highly skilled, and we're continuing to upskill and train people all the time. I talked about Bridges and Pathways partnership we have between Community College of Beaver County, Geneva College, and Penn State Beaver. I said, 25 years ago when I came here, if you told me there would be a working agreement on workforce development and upskilling people and articulation agreements, I would have thought you're nuts, but we have everybody on board pulling in the same direction to make Beaver County be more, do more, care more, and achieve more success.
What's the perception? Somebody comes in from another part of the country. They've never been here, no background. What's the perception they bring with them when they get here?
Oh, yeah, it's steel country is
Rust Belt.
Rust Belt, brownfield sites, and those kinds of things. So that's why I try. Hey, I talked a lot about Parks and Recreation. I actually, in my talk, wrote in. And by the way, speaking of Parks and Recreation, any of you interested, the Rabid Raccoon 100 race is next Saturday morning.
I don't know what that is, but I love the fact that rabies is involved.
It's the second year of an event at Bradish Run Park where the entrants run a 100-mile race.
Yeah, pass.
So I had you signed up, Eddie, for a relay. I was going to walk to the end of the parking lot, hand you the baton, and let you go for the next night. No,
if it's 100 steps, seriously, I got you.
But it's an example of how attractive Beaver County has become.
That's true.
Beyond just that, I wanted to point out that we've raised $1 million in hotel tax revenue for the last 2 consecutive years. After everybody's saying, all those hotels, what's going to happen when Shell's done? Guess what? We're getting more revenue than we ever did from that. More people are visiting. You may be shocked at this, but that rabid raccoon, it started at Raccoon State Park.
Okay.
And that's where the rabid raccoon thing came from.
Is that how you determine who wins, who doesn't get bit?
I suppose imagining that a rabid raccoon is chasing you is what motivates you to complete 100 miles. But the fact of the matter is there are 1,300 entrants into, it's not just a 100-mile race, there's a series of races.
Right.
There's a half marathon. 1,300 entrants. A lot of them come with there'll be 2,000 people in Brady's Run Park on the 14th. And it starts at 4 a.m. and they run through and finish up in Sunday. It's just amazing. It's the second day. They love the park. They love the race course. We've had those triathlons there. Mm-hmm. The dog show that we had there, the AKA dog show, wants to expand is stuff. Beaver County is becoming an attraction, and our parks particularly are just a tremendous asset and being recognized as some great facilities. So in making a pitch to anybody from Boston or Texas or wherever these folks are coming from, you need to understand, visit our downtowns. Go to Ambridge, go downtown, come into Beaver, grab lunch while you're looking up and down the Ohio River for places to go. So you got to kind of paint the picture of why I'm so excited, why my family moved here, why my son moved from Hawaii after 60
Yeah, that tells you
years.
something.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten all the results from his sanity check yet. But
you're leaving Hawaii, going where?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what you do. You try and paint a big picture of all we have to offer, and we have a lot more to offer than that steel legacy. But it is core and fundamental of what we're capable of and what we can do. So pretty excited about the future. And like I say, I know there's a couple of announcements that are pending.
Really?
So
can I weasel?
We've got some.
Can I weasel some information out?
No.
All right. Jack Manning was my guest. Jack Manning is with me. ask the commissioners. You can call with your questions. After news, I want Jack to talk about valet service. I'm just giving you a heads up, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Jimmy Fallon is coming to Pittsburgh. Join St. Barnabas Charities to honor Jimmy Fallon at their Founders Day dinner celebration on Wednesday, April 16th. Fallon is a New York City cab driver turned stand-up comedian and is the host of Fox Across America News Radio. Event proceeds benefit the St. Barnabas Free Care Fund. Buy tickets online at stbarnabascharities.com or call 724-625-3770.
Have you ever found something interesting that makes you go, oh? Then tune in every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. on Beaver County Radio for the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury. Orlana relates her views about informing, inspiring, and entertaining headlines that makes the world go round in interviews with local influencers that make you go, oh. The episode will be on Beaver County Radio Facebook and YouTube pages, so make sure to join the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 right here on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP.
Beaver County Radio proudly welcomes Fry Transportation to their family. You're listening to 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Thursday, March 6th of 2025. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Reports of Shell considering the sale of the cracker plant have caught the attention of the Beaver County commissioners. Here's Beaver County Radio's Curtis Walsh with more.
The Beaver County Commissioners briefly spoke about the Shell cracker plan at their work session Wednesday morning. Recent information has been released that suggests Shell is considering selling the plant that recently cost them over $14 billion to build and has only been operating since 2022. According to the Wall Street Journal, Shell is exploring the sale of their chemical assets in the U.S. and Europe. Commissioner Jack Manning commented that everything has a price and suggested that normally these kinds of deals are not unusual, but he does see this one as unusual considering the large investment and how quickly Shell is willing to sell. Further details about the potential sale are still unknown. From Beaver, this is Curtis Walsh reporting for Beaver County Radio News.
Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano reports that a wanted suspect was apprehended on Wednesday for possessing drugs in West Aliquippa. Police caught 39-year-old Eric Bruce on the 400 block of Allegheny Avenue. Bruce snuck through an alley in a mask after he saw police. According to the police report, Bruce was taken into custody without incident. Bruce faces charges for both possession of drug paraphernalia and possessing a controlled substance. A Moon Area High School student was apprehended after trying to commit identity theft of his neighbors. According to detectives in Moon Township, 18-year-old Michael Faribault stole personal items and broke into a neighbor's house. Police confirmed that Faribault tried to use the identities of the family of the house to open 10 different accounts of credit cards. Faribault is in the Allegheny County Jail and faces charges including forgery, fraud, and identity theft. According to a release from State Representative Roman Kozak's office, Kozak introduced Nicholas's Law. This bill will eliminate a regulation of limitations for specific crimes against any nonverbal person that needs dependent care. The crimes include simple or aggravated assault, neglect or abuse, involuntary deviant sexual assault, and rape. Kozak also named the law after Nicholas Marovich, who faced abuse from his former caretaker and could not communicate that any information was wrong at a criminal trial. Daylight saving time begins on March 9th of 2025. The holiday leads up to the season of spring because of the traditional reminder to spring your clocks forward in the United States by 1 hour. The alternative is the autumn conclusion of daylight saving time, in which clocks go back 1 hour in the United States to fall back during the season of fall. The borough of Monaca has announced their St. Patrick's Day Parade at the George Washington Plaza on Pennsylvania Avenue from 12 noon to 3 p.m. on Saturday, March 15th. The events include live Irish music by Rob Eaton, vendors and food trucks, a beer tent, games and activities for kids, and more. The parade will stop at 9th Street and will be led by former world champion bagpiper Sean Patrick Reagan. The event takes only cash and a set of 10 tickets costs $5. Pennsylvania is spending more than $10 million to replace its electronic voter registration database with an election management system. Under a contract announced Wednesday, a new system is being developed that will also provide election night results and handle campaign finance filings and lobbyist registration. Secretary of State Al Schmidt announced the civic system should be fully in use by the time of the next presidential election in 2028. It will replace the existing statewide uniform registry of electors, often called the SURE system. State officials say the civic system's functions for public use will provide information about voter registration, coming elections, and voting data.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Cloudy and breezy today with a chance of snow showers. We'll see a high near 34. Partly cloudy tonight. We'll drop down to a low around 28. Partly sunny and breezy tomorrow with a chance of a rain and snow mix in the afternoon, and again in the evening. We'll reach a high near 45 and a low around 28. And mostly sunny on Saturday with the possibility of some snow in the morning. We'll see a high near 37 and a low around 25. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Are you ready? It's time to find out what is on the mind of Eddie Crow. It's something to crow about on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. Now, here's the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
Rolling through a Thursday. Mother Nature for 2 days was really cool, and then Mother Nature today said, just a reminder, this Thursday, like one Thursday a month, we asked the commissioners. Jack Manning is here in the studio with me, and you can call with the question. Let's see if somebody's calling Jack. This is on live Facebook feed, so if you don't want to call, you can post your questions in the comments section. Hi, what's your name?
Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
I have a macroeconomic question for Jack.
All right.
Let me set it up real briefly.
Jack, can you hear him okay?
Yes.
Macroeconomic. Go ahead.
About 2 years ago, a holding company in North Carolina put PPG Place and EQT Plaza in Pittsburgh up for sale. They said that they wanted to raise funds for the exciting business opportunities in Austin, Texas, which I thought was kind of surprising because at the time, we were supposed to be on the midst of having some exciting business opportunities around here. Bank of New York Mellon, they're pulling out of Pittsburgh. They're going to concentrate on New York, all their operations. There was a demographic study came out around a year and a half ago, predicted that just about the entire western Pennsylvania region was going to decline in population, 8 to 15% in various counties, just on the basis of the fact that the population's getting older, we're not replacing people and things. My question is, why is our entire region, not just Beaver County, this is a whole western Pennsylvania region thing, why are we held in such low regard for potential from outside sources? What is it about us that just doesn't seem attractive to these groups?
Why don't they like us, Jack?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Thank you, Jerry.
Because one of the things I pointed out to these investors that were coming in is the same reason that Shell decided to come here. We do have a very strong workforce that's available to do that stuff. We're strategically positioned, particularly in Beaver County, between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and we're 700 miles, about one trucking day from a significant portion of the population and markets in Eastern Canada, New England, Mid-Atlantic states.
Don't say Canada.
The South. Well, I still have some. I have a lot of Canadian friends. I'm sorry. Well, actually, when you look at Canada, like 70% of the Canadian population is actually below the 49th parallel in that Toronto, Ontario,
the
Quebec
Windsor
area.
stretch.
There's a lot of people there. That's a big market. But you just look at that 7 Mile Loop, the eastern South Central and the northern South Central and the Midwest states there. It's a huge market. There, and so ideally we're better suited for people that make things and want to market things and deliver things in an area.
Is a declining population viewed as a negative? If so, how much?
Sure.
Because you've got to have people working if you want to build.
I know the studies that he's talking about. I was a part of those. The Allegheny Conference put them on, called them Tipping Point, and we had a 1.0 and a 2.0 report. It showed that we would be, just with the aging demographic, we were going to be 80,000 short of workers to fill the jobs of people that were leaving jobs. If you factor in a 5% or 3% job growth, we were going to be
more short. Yeah.
And the offset to that, making things and mark stuff, is CMU is still in Pitt and Duquesne and Robert Morris and a couple of other institutions in there, and Penn State. They are highly skilled in engineering schools and those kinds of things. So I think the reason Westinghouse didn't leave and go to South Carolina or someplace else to be cheaper and went into Cranberry when they moved out of Monroeville was because of the talent that was in a 100-mile radius that they could draw from to continuing when you're a highly technical engineering base, or in this case, computer AI-driven stuff, which is the future. You got a big talent pool to pull from, and some young people. So I'm surprised we aren't more attractive, but I think we are now being seen as more attractive than we have in the past, because everybody just focused on the old Rust Belt legacy and stuff. And let's face it, when you graduate students from Penn State or CMU, how many of them stay in this area versus they go for more attractive lifestyle, climate, pay, incentives? We do have a great cost of living, which makes us attractive. But let's face it, we're in competition for that talent. Rather than retaining a lot of it, it's going to the Southeast. It's going to Austin, Texas, which is a very popular place. The climate's a little better, unless you like hurricanes and those
sand.
kinds of things. So that's the reality. Is that young talent is looking for a different lifestyle, different atmosphere. The lure of New York City, the lure of Boston, the lure of Atlanta, Austin, some of the Chicago. Your own family members I know are out that way. They offer a different lifestyle, and we have a whole bunch of millennials and Gen Z folks that are looking for a different work-life balance in a different environment. And we've read all the stories about difficulties getting people that are working remotely to actually show up in an office and be part of a team that works to get things
to justify the rent for the building.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not a big macroeconomic expert or anything, but I think it's a lot of those factors that are coming into play here.
You used the term cost of living, and I want to apply that. And talking about choosing one place over the other. With all of your driving, you dealt with downtown, the hellish commute that it was. You couldn't find a place to parking garage that was open. Well, please tell the story and get to the number, because it would kill me.
I don't think the Fairmont's going to lose any business over me mentioning their name.
It's nothing personal.
Well, I'm hustling to get downtown.
Right.
Rich Fitzgerald wanted me to speak on his program, the Southwest Planning Commission. So I had a 5 to 7 minute segment I had to do tomorrow or yesterday morning, and I'm trying to get through the tunnel, trying to get to the lobby of the hotel so I can do that thing, and then get prepared for the 10 or 15 minutes I had to talk in front of these investors to pitch Beaver County. So I drive up, at 7:30, and the thing goes a lot full.
Yeah.
Garage full.
Garage full. Keep moving.
Valet only with an arrow. And I go, okay. I have no choice. I got to get out of the car. So the guy hands me the ticket. leave the cars, run inside.
You got to
put
go.
on my earbuds, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Do the radio thing. I see the ticket. I go, well, I've got to bolt this thing to get back in the car to come back for the work session at Beaver County.
Yeah.
Not knowing what the commute back was going to look like with the traffic.
Don't dawdle.
So I go to pay the ticket, and the guy at the counter inside where you register, the registration thing, he looks at me and goes, that'll be $46.
You got to be kidding me.
I seriously said, do I get a wash and wax with that, or is that?
Did that get a laugh?
No, humorless guy, totally humorless. And he goes, will it be cash or card? And I go, well, I guess it'll be card. And I hand him the card.
Yeah.
He goes, put it in the slot and stuff. He goes, would you like a receipt? I said, oh, yeah.
Oh.
Nobody's going to believe I just spent $46 for valet parking for an hour and a half in downtown Pittsburgh.
I'm not even going to turn this receipt in. I'm framing this one.
Unbelievable to me.
That's insane. But think about the people that work downtown every day.
I know.
It's costing you maybe 3 hours of your workday to pay for your commute. Why would you want to be there? Come here.
I don't know, but to dovetail that into my pitch to these investors,
right?
As I was talking about all the great things in Beaver County, and I talked about our finances, and we're stable, and the ARPA money we had, we didn't use that to balance our budget. We put it back in the community. 78 to 80% of it went into municipal infrastructure projects, health and safety, fire, police, and emergency management, and all this stuff. And I said, our proximity to the international airport is being built right there. I said, we're a straight shot. And by straight shot, I mean you don't have to go through a tunnel to get to the airport from Beaver County. So I slipped that in there. That was after paying $46 for
I'd open with
for a valet.
Do you know how much it just cost me to park an hour and a half?
Yeah.
You know how much it costs in downtown Ambridge to park for an hour and a half?
Yeah. But I wanted to pitch to them, we're financially stable. We haven't raised taxes. We just went through a reassessment, a little dig to some of the Allegheny people that were sitting in the room, and they all kind of looked at me and smirked.
I like
and I said, look, we had a successful reassessment. We haven't raised taxes. We're financially stable. We took $92 million worth of ARPA, and we put it back into the community. We're a good place to live and have a business. And I want people to understand that. And that quality of life stuff I really emphasize. Talking about the Rabid Raccoon 100 race in Brady's Run Park
and what
the
that
investments
brings.
we've made. We have 5 county parks and a big state park, and we've got rivers that run through the county that a lot of counties don't have, with the Ohio and the Beaver rivers. And we have these vibrant, quintessential downtowns from Beaver Falls and Ambridge and Beaver and Aliquippa and Monaca and Midland. We have these places that are the heart and soul of our town. So you may look at us as a Rust Belt brownfield site, but we are much more than that, and we offer a tremendous opportunity for you to invest in the community. And I know some of them are serious considering it and looking at it. And it's not this, you have all of the stuff now connected to AI and stuff. I also brought up, and you can look it up and Google it, the Turnpike Commission is bringing state-of-the-art high-speed fiber optics all the way down the Turnpike. It is they're past Harrisburg, they're heading our way. The terminus of that project is Beaver County. The fact that we just don't have access to rail and river and highway. We have a interstate turnpike that runs right through the top of our county, and with that is coming these high-speed lines. And we're working to have that make a left-hand turn when they get to the end of the turnpike, come through Beaver County, hook up into our power grid in the Ohio River, which I believe will promulgate a lot of data center-driven business development to complement some of the other stuff that we have along there. So those are the kinds of things we're trying to attract. Those are the kinds of things that are in Pittsburgh right now because the city of Pittsburgh and the Allegheny Conference is trying to drum up, CMU as the heart of artificial intelligence, but just computer science overall and all those other skilled assets that they have there. So that's the kind of picture I'm trying to paint.
I want to back up. What's going on with the cracker plant, whether or not it's going on or not, is that a bad look? Or do people in the circles we're talking about understand that's business and it's always been?
That's business. If you're a venture capitalist, you understand that's just business.
Okay.
And these kind of reevaluations and on the market, off the market things that just happens all the time. Yeah. So I'm not concerned about that, and I'm not concerned for the people in Beaver County. The people aren't going to go away. The plant's not going to go away. The plant's still going to be here 10, 20 years from now. There may be a different name on folks' paychecks. But I was bought and sold twice in 37 years of work in that industry in the same line of work. So
is it just
I'm not concerned about. I don't think any reasonable investor, particularly with the degree of sophistication investment that these folks are talking about.
Is it just the insecurity of it, you think, or the not knowing that makes you feel insecure? Because in radio, there was one 6-year span I had the same job and worked for 3 different companies. Yeah. It can be unsettling.
Sure. I think for the average everyday worker, they go, what's going to happen? The speculation, pay, benefits, all the job, all those things. I mean, quite frankly, it's the same thing that's happening at the federal level.
Right.
If you work with the VA right now, or you're working with some others, just the uncertainty: is my job going to go? What's going to happen? Can it be absorbed? All those things. But quite frankly, that's just the nature of business in the world these days. So I'm trying not to make as big a deal about it as people want to make about it, because I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't.
I trust your perception because of what your job has been for 40 years.
It's inconsequential to me that's listed with 24 other assets in the U.S. that Shell owns that's out there. And of course that would be out there. It's like your I don't know. It's like your lead asset. You're out there to draw the trend. And while I'm looking at this, well, maybe that facility that you have out in Seattle, Washington, maybe that's more appealing to me. Or one in California, or one in the Houston Ship Channel, or something. If you're somebody that's looking to expand or acquire or invest in the U.S.
All right. Somebody is on the line. Okay. Hi. What's your name?
Hello?
Hi. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Joe.
Joe, do you have a question for Commissioner Manning?
Yes, I do. Do you think the exorbitant fees that the Turnpike charges are hurting Beaver County?
That's a great question to allow me to... they're hurting everybody. It's the parking, the valet parking, $46. People don't want to go on the Turnpike, John.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts Beaver County as much as it does, only because we get a free ride until we get, past Cranberry on that. So I think I don't think that hurts Beaver County as much. I know our new warden lives on the other side of the city, and he's got like a 45-minute commute. I think he jumps up onto the Turnpike. Maybe not. Maybe it's just 376 he comes in. But I don't think that hurts us that much from both ways. I don't think it hurts with people getting to Beaver County. I also don't think it hurts with people in Beaver County, because 40% of our folks work outside the county and drive somewhere south or east to get to jobs. So I don't think that hurts. It hurts me when I have to go to Harrisburg, which I do in a couple of weeks for the CCAP, for the County Commissioner Association meeting, because those costs are just...
How much is that? Like $75, $80?
You know what?
I've kind of lost track. Make the trip, and we'll find out.
You know why? Because I have the Easy Pass, and then I go, okay, do I have to replenish my Easy Pass and put another $100 in it and whatever? But and then I know the legislature's trying to work, and I think Shapiro's budget tries to not have as much milked off to pay the state police and all the other things that they do with some of those fees. But it's exorbitant. And we are getting a brand new bridge and new interchange at Beaver Falls that they're paying for. So I think in aggregate, we're probably going to get our money's worth. I think once that new interchange happens on Route 18, where the Turnpike at exit 13, and then the terminus is a few miles past that before you get to Ohio. I do think that interchange will also open up some economic development opportunity that we haven't had in Beaver County. So I think there's a potential plus from a turnpike standpoint. I mean, it surprises me because when I did downtown consulting, I get on the turnpike to go to Tarentum or Aspinwall or Verona or some of these towns that you don't want to go through the city to get to. You get off of any other turnpike exit, and there are Sheetz and fast food restaurants or strip malls or something.
Stop and get back on road trip
at exit 13, you get off, and well, I won't say what I've said before. There's nothing there.
Right.
Let's just put it there. There's one hotel that's kind of out of the way up the hill, but there's not much there. And Giuseppe's probably isn't going to be rebuilt. That was the only restaurant in the area, and I think that has potential development area. I've been trying to talk to people along that corridor. There's a tremendous asset we have in Pit Race that's right off of that.
How did more people not know about that place?
I don't know, but
that is a cool place.
The Stout family, that is world class, and they bring people from all over the place. And
they bring racers in from all over the country.
I love their moto.
The moto, yes. It's terrifying.
It's great.
Yeah.
Those guys are nuts. I mean,
180 miles an hour on a motorcycle and then turn left while laying on the ground.
Yeah. But, you have Pit Race and you have, Mines and Meadows out there, recreational opportunities, proximity to a lot of good things. So I'm hoping that comes. But, I mean, I think we're all frustrated with the cost, the escalating costs, and they're going to continue to rise 5% a year over the next, I don't know, long time.
As long as you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Anything I should have got you to talk about that I didn't? We got about 2 minutes.
No, I can't think anything too much. I will be the honorary starter for one of the relay races at the Rabbit Raccoon. So
I have a starter's pistol. Do you need it?
No. They give me a little air horn. And then I stand there and blast the air horn and then watch hordes of people run through the ice arena, the tennis court side, out the door, and
all those people came to town just for that. They're spending money and staying in hotels.
Staying in the hotels.
Absolutely.
And they're spending 40 different states, I've been told. The entrants are from 40 different states around the country. It's really exciting for Beaver County. They love the facility, and it's a second year, and I can see them continuing on for quite some time.
Word gets out real quick if it's a good or bad event.
Yeah.
And clearly that's a good event.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Manning, as always, thank you.
Yeah, time flew by here. Always a pleasure, Eddie, and I do appreciate the opportunity to talk to the folks out there, the listening audience.
$46.
Yeah, $46.
People are like, how come nobody wants to work downtown? $46 to valet park.
Be a disincentive for me.
And at least, dude, if you're popping $46, the guy that needs to be taking the money should at least politely giggle at your joke.
My guess is it's not the first time he had somebody a little irate. And I kept my cool, but that wasn't happy about paying a $46 valet fee.
$46. And you almost couldn't get to that because of the damn bike lanes.
Our Lady of the Valley Parish is inviting you to one of the best Lenten fish fries in the Valley at the St. Cecilia Hall on California Avenue in Rochester. The fish fries get underway on Friday, March the 7th, and will be every Friday throughout the Lenten season from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. There'll be fish sandwiches, fried or baked, for just $12. Fried or baked fish dinners, $15. Shrimp dinners are $15. Fish or shrimp salads are $14.